Hey, what's up, friends? Out here driving on the freeway, southbound. Police, look out. Head back to the garage. Try to get some more work done on this here Land Cruiser. And, all the time I spend working on this Land Cruiser, this particular one, can't help but think and contemplate. It's like, man, these things take a lot of work. They just really do. They do. And it's really no different than any other old truck, an old Chevy, an old Ford, something like that, a 20-year-old truck. It's probably going to take a fair amount of parts and work and effort to keep that thing up and running. So it's like, what's the difference? I mean, why do we like Toyotas so much? And having been a Toyota guy for, going almost 24 years or something like that. There's a certain draw to Toyotas. And everybody has their own opinions about it. But it's like, what is it about this one particular brand that appeals to so many of us over, let's say, a Jeep? Most of us can appreciate a Jeep, can appreciate a Chevy, an old square body, full-size truck. While we may be very loyal to our brand, our preferred, our favorite brand for a long list of personal reasons, it doesn't mean that we absolutely don't like, the other offerings that are out there. It's just those would be suitable for maybe a certain application. Like here I am cruising around in the Tundra, and, it suits my needs well for the towing and whatnot that I need to do for the camper. My camper isn't too big, totally reasonable sized, small family camper, and maybe towing the occasional rig on a tandem axle trailer in the back. I don't have huge towing needs. Conversely, if I had a huge horse trailer to haul or a family worth of snow machines, maybe I would choose a GMC diesel or something like that. Anyways, so back to why do Toyotas appeal to us, and what is it about Toyotas that we seem to recognize that it seems like most other people don't? And that's a subject for much discussion and much opinions. But the more I spend working on these Toyotas, the more time I spend working on them. This case, for example, with replacing for case seals and bearings. The engineering that goes into these machines has always been far and above just a higher caliber of engineering, manufacturing, and constant refinements. And they use a process called Kaizen. I'm not a very well-versed Toyota historian by any means, but when I did work in the automobile manufacturing industry, our company adopted the Toyota's methods of Kaizen, which essentially means always improving, always finding a way to improve. It shows in everything they do. All the way back to, their earliest vehicles, their earliest Land Cruisers that I've had experience working on, up to, this 2000 Land Cruiser is 21 years old, and up to the brand new vehicles, So, for example, this transfer case is designed to be serviceable. It's designed so that when the technician needs to go in there and separate the cases, the case components, it's designed to allow you to do that by installing extra little tabs for you to pry things apart. So they have the forethought to know that this needs to be a serviceable item. And that is true across everything that they do. The only exception to the exceptional engineering that I've experienced is just that starter that's mounted underneath the 100 series Land Cruiser's intake plenum. But again, as discussed in that video, which you can go check out, they must have had their reasons for why they would do that. So everything's a compromise. But, you know, all of these things are designed to make it serviceable and thereby giving it a longer life, giving you the ability to change out the bearings, change out seals, and extend the life of your piece of equipment without total aggravation and hassle. If I was doing this type of repair work, on having worked in the automobile industry as a mechanic in times past, you know, the transfer case in a half-ton truck, an F-150 or a Chevy 1500, would not be anywhere near as easy to disassemble and service, and nor would it be nearly as robust. I mean, these components are just overbuilt, and they've just always been overbuilt. So anyways, I just think that most people that don't recognize don't have the appeal to the attraction to Toyotas are kind of missing out. I don't think they realize what they're missing out on. And so while me and many of my friends might consider ourselves, you know, Toyota bigots, or as Dave Connors put it, you know, I'm a Land Cruiser bigot first and foremost. It's not just because, I mean, it's just because they're superior products. They just are. And even superior products are going to require maintenance. And they just are. Maintenance and upkeep. So this here 2000 Land Cruiser, I had made a video about it, not quite a year ago. And it just turned out to be way too long of a video. It was kind of going to be the whole rundown of everything I've done to this truck, all the maintenance problems I've had, as a means to kind of, if somebody's just newly considering getting into Land Cruisers or thinking about buying a 100 series, just kind of an idea of what it takes to upkeep these things, so you kind of don't go into it blindly. But you know, there's lots of sources and threads, and you know, if you go to the IHateMud.com forum section and go right to the 100 series section, boom, I was just kind of scrolling through there yesterday to the frequently asked questions, and man, it was cool. I found one of my old threads from like 2009 was added to the frequently asked questions probably ages ago, in regards to building the hidden winch mount behind this here truck. But anyway, there's lots of resources out there, you know, if you're thinking about buying a Land Cruiser. But I'm just rambling on. You know, my YouTube channel here is somewhat of a vlog style, you know, garage vlogs as of late. So if that's not what you're into, sorry about that. And as Winter has said in here, you know, not a whole lot of wheeling action. So I intend to get to filming some wheeling action, but in the meantime, sorry, just gonna have a guy rambling on about some opinions he's got. So if that's not what you're into, then sorry to have wasted your time. But anyway, Toyotas are awesome, but it doesn't mean that they're indestructible or invulnerable to general upkeep. And as such, these parts, you know, to replace these bearings, you know, those parts are kind of expensive as compared to a lesser built component of a competitor's vehicle. So anyway, it is a little bit costly. The nicest thing is people talk and tout how Land Cruisers globally have been a reliable platform to get you back, take you out onto some long extended trip, but to get you back. And that's why we love them, one of the many reasons why we love them. But what that translates to, in my opinion, is it doesn't necessarily mean that they're indestructible and they're never going to break down on you. They're a piece of mechanical equipment that has just as likelihood to break down on you if you don't maintain it and don't care for it as any other piece of equipment, any other vehicle. But the nice part is that, you know, as a cruiser owner, by being familiar and acquainted with your truck and the parts and the problems that it's got ongoing, you know, most of us have a vehicle that has a list of things that need to be addressed, and it's just a prioritization, right? But anyway, as you become familiar with your truck, then you know how far you can kind of push things and how to prioritize what needs to happen and what to watch out for. So I'm trying to wrap up this train of thought here, just that yes, they're going to get you back because the componentry and the design is so robust that, you know, it'll keep you going. More than likely, you can rely on it, even with maybe some known issues, to get you back instead of just, you know, some surprise thing that just pops up and just fails on you. So that's why they're super reliable. And they're just well engineered, and that's one of the many reasons of why we choose to drive and own Land Cruisers. And I don't want to bash on any of the other brands out there because they're all good for certain things. I mean, I can see a Jeep JK or whatever the new 4-door one is, and the Gladiator. They're cool. They're cool trucks, man. Solid axles, pretty well built. You know, but sometimes it feels like they kind of miss the mark on certain aspects of quality, and then when it comes to, you know, just the longevity of how long are these things going to last, and how serviceable are they, and how reliable are they. And there's other brands like Land Rovers, Range Rovers. They're cool trucks for sure, you know, Defenders and the early Land Rovers, they're awesome. They're super awesome trucks. But man, you know, I mean, certain trucks kind of have a reputation, and I've known just a couple of folks with Land Rovers, for example, LR3s, Defender 110s, and even Land Rover Discoveries that not necessarily the most reliable unit out there. So there you go. I'm sure we'll pick up this discussion more later as pertaining to. Okay, so that's a wrap. I gotta go. See ya. Gotta go get my COVID booster shot.